Next Level Mindset bringing you another powerful and positive video. Let's talk about 5 lies we've been told about life. What is the real truth? I'm going to share my insights, my perspective on that. And if you stay with this video all the way through, I've got some bonus insights, extra PowerPoints, signs of being on the right path. You do not want to miss this. By the fact that you're watching this right now, this is your confirmation that you're starting to see through it. You're seeing through it all. And this is the first early bonus point. Something that's true for one may not necessarily be true for all. And we're going to get more into that as we get into this. Even myself, I could be wrong. So let me know in the comments which one of these stands out the most for you. So the first lie that we've been told about life is that we are here as human beings trying to be spiritual. But the fact is we are here as spiritual beings learning what it is to have a human experience. Think about that for a moment. Is it possible that we really have flipped it the other way? Is it possible that we are here as spiritual manifestations of a divine being, learning what it is to be a human being? From my experience, I've learned along my life that there are certain things that appear to be one way when really they could be another way. And when we think about this spirituality, a lot of us, we see things from a standpoint of being human, looking to be spiritual, looking to gain spirituality, looking to grow spiritually. And there is a certain element of truth to that. But is it possible that we are really here as spiritual beings, spiritual manifestations of a divine God, learning what it means to be human and learning what being human is really all about? I remember when I was a little younger, growing up in church, we always talked about how this building is not made by hands. There's a leak in this old building and my soul has got to move. Have you ever heard that? Let me know in the comments if you ever heard that statement. And it just reminds me that our souls and our spirits, that is the real part of who we really are. And when I think about this, it really helps me to shift my mindset. It helps me to look at it from a different perspective, from a different point of view. So the next time someone tells you about trying to be spiritual, or you look at your life and you're trying to have a spiritual experience, think about the fact that it is possible and it is within the scope of truth, that we're not here as human beings trying to find out what a spiritual life is all about. We are here as spiritual beings, manifestations of God, learning what it is to be human and what this human life is really all about. And the second lie that we've been told about life is that heaven is somewhere that we go after we leave this earth. From my experience, we can experience heaven right here on earth. It is something about a spiritual part of us. We don't have to pass from this life to experience what heaven is really all about. Even in my book, Mystic Secrets of the Bible, I talk about how heaven and hell are really right here on earth. As a matter of fact, did you know that it is really a psychological experience? It is not necessarily a place that we go, but an experience that we have. And from my perspective, we don't have to wait until we pass from this life to the next life to have a heavenly experience. We can have a heavenly experience right here, right now. Every time we see a sunrise, that can be a heavenly experience. Every time we're grateful for that, that could be a heavenly experience. And anytime we make decisions that do not line up with what's best for us, that could be considered a hellish experience, something that seems like hell is all around. But I like to say after hell has done its worst, I'll still be at my best. There's nothing that can stop me from achieving this heavenly divine experience right here on earth. So keep that in mind the next time you think about heaven and hell. The fact of the matter could be that we are experiencing it right here, right now. We don't have to wait until we pass from this life right here and now. We can experience heaven right here through the divine manifestation of God within us, that great I am. And the third lie that we've been told about life is that we don't really have a choice in what happens to us in this world. But is it possible that we are always shaping and forging our own futures by the decisions that we make? I like to say I am the master of my fate, captain of my soul. I am the molder and shaper of my destiny. It is my own actions that have placed me where I am in life. And today my actions are powerful, positive, and productive. There comes a time in our lives when we can realize that we are manifestations of God, that we are actually co-creators with the Supreme Being. And it's strongly possible that we have an influence on what happens in this life. And I already know that there are some who look at this thing, and there is a fact that things happen that are outside of our control. I may not be able to choose what happens to me, but I can always choose how I'm going to respond. So keep that in mind as you think about choices that you make in your life. There comes a time in life when we begin to realize that every cause has an effect. There's no way that I can make a decision today that won't affect what I'm going through on the next day. There are things that are simply just out of our control, but there are other things that we have the ability to maintain control over. We have the ability to choose how we're going to feel, choose how we're going to respond. We can choose how we're going to react. And most of the time we find ourselves in an environment where maybe we don't accept responsibility. And so when we talk about next level mindset, which is the basis of this channel, my whole concept is advancing to the next level. And there's no way that we could do that without being responsible for our own choices. And I remember when I was growing up, trying to blame everybody for everything that happened to me, playing the blame game. But as I begin to grow spiritually, I begin to realize that we have the ability to be responsible for our actions. We're responsible for how we're going to feel, responsible for how we're going to respond to everything in this life. It is within our power to transform the old paradigms and embrace the new life that we're looking to experience. We have the choice in order to do that. So do we have that ability? Is it within our power to choose our reality, or is it just out of our control? And from my insight, from my experience and my perspective, that is a lie that we've been told, that we really don't have any choice in the matter. It is strongly possible that we can choose. It is strongly possible that we have the ability to choose at every moment how we're going to respond. And that choice can shape every area of our lives, advancing to the next level. And if you're part of the family, you already know that's how we like to do it to get it done. Next level mindset, that's where it's at. And by the way, if this is your first time here or you've been here before and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay empowered and inspired together, we'd love to have you here as a part of Next Level. And the next lie that we've been told about life is that hard work pays off. Work hard. I remember growing up in my life, we was always taught to work hard. But is it possible that it's better to work smarter instead of harder? One of my affirmations says, I've embraced the concept that making big money can be easy and a lot of fun, working smarter and not harder. So I think that's something that we begin to shift as we begin to grow. Smart work is what pays off. Hard work, and I usually joke around and I say, you can work hard doing all the wrong things and never get anything done. When we begin to work smarter instead of harder, that's when evidence shows up. That's when we're in that zone, that sweet spot. That's when things begin to change. That's when we begin to advance to the next level. That's when we begin to shift our mindset. We don't have to work hard doing everything at all times. We can work smarter and get things done in an intelligent way. And I see a shift in the paradigm where there is more so of a smart work and not a hard work. I see a shift in our thinking, even as individuals, where we begin to realize that smart work is what pays off. It's best to work smarter and not harder, getting everything done in a very intelligent way. This is what it's all about, advancing our mindset. So the next time you think about that, think about this, keep this in mind. And I could be wrong. Maybe I've had it wrong all my life, right? Maybe I've been thinking about working smarter. Maybe there is a time to work hard. But I see it as an opportunity to work smarter instead of harder. That's what it's all about in this new life, in this new era, in this new year. Working smarter, getting things done in an intelligent way. And here's the thing to keep in mind. When it comes to working smart, we begin to identify those things that work for us and those things that work against us. The things that bring the most benefits and the greatest result. Whenever we're just working hard, there is an effort there. There is a certain effort there, but the result is just not the same. Think about that. You can be working real hard, going the wrong way, in the wrong direction, and never reach the destination that you have in your mindset. Never reach the destination that you planned for. So from my perspective and from my insight, it's better to work smarter and not harder. That's what it's really all about. And the next lie, the fifth lie that we've been told about life, is that God is somewhere out there, somewhere in the distance. It is from my perspective that God is not outside. The divine spirit that we really are is what we call God. Is it possible that God is within and not without? I like to say I am the essence of Almighty God. I am a glorious and most intelligent manifestation of this almighty and divine presence, and we are one. I'm learning to connect and recognize my divine oneness with the Supreme Being. So I want to encourage you. I want to inspire you the next time you think about your relationship to a divine being, your relationship to God, your relationship to the spiritual being and the eternal being of God, your relationship with a higher power. Is it possible that we could see it as being within? I want to encourage you to start seeing this relationship as God within us and not as a God that is so far out. God is not only up there and out there looking down and in and at us. God is right here within us. It is within our own being. It is the true and divine self that we represent. There is a divine spark of connection that we have. And a lot of people will tell you that there is a God out there, but I want to tell you that there is a God right there where you are. So keep that in mind the next time someone talks about God. Never limit yourself to seeing God as being outside and outside of yourself. There is a possibility, and it could be just the truth, that God is right there where you are as your life, as my life, living a life as all that lives. God is not just out there. He's right here within us, living life as that great I am that I am. You are more than you think. You are more than you ever know. Now, I've got some extra bonus insights that I want to share. But before I do that, I just want to give you a little bit of my new song, Behind the Scenes. It's entitled Without You. Just had to share that with you. Might want to subscribe so you can stay up with that. And you already know about my brand new single, already out, Nobody. It's streaming everywhere right now. Your music is streamed. Go to Spotify, put that on your favorite Spotify playlist, and grab your copy from the Amazon site. Do that with the links in the description. If you are enjoying the content on my channel, you can show your appreciation with a Cash App donation, a super chat, super thanks, buy my coffee, take a book home with you. Any way you want to do it, there's links in the description for you to do just that. And those of you who already do that, you know who you are. You keep the lights on here, and I really appreciate you. So when we think about this extra bonus point, this first bonus point I want to share, it deals with what we talked about earlier. Something that may be true for one may not necessarily be true for all. For example, here recently, Ty Tribbett has been in the news, and he's been talking about how he said, they've been talking about how he said that church was just whack. But when you really think about it, when I looked at it, I saw that he said the systems are whack. The whole church religious systems is what he was talking about. And from my perspective, it is that same mentality of religious systems, religious traditions, the different fights and factions. That is what's kept so many people separated for so long. So from one standpoint, he said that the church was a whack. From another standpoint, he was talking about the whole church system. And so something that may be seen as a truth for one person may not necessarily be seen that same way by someone else. I can see it from a standpoint of everyone has their own point of view. Everyone has a certain way that they see things and the way they're looking at certain things in life, right? So keep that in mind. One thing that may be true for one may not necessarily be the exact truth for someone else. We all have a different perspective on how we see what's going on. And another thing to keep in mind when we begin to look at different lies that we've been told, as we begin to see through those things that have been given to us in life, we begin to see that there's evidence that we are right where we need to be. And there are some signs that will show up in our lives to let us know that we're on the right path. And I go into detail on that with this video right here coming up on the screen. I think that would be a great video for you to watch next. So check that out. Enjoy that. Thanks again to my subscribers and returning viewers. You are the life of the channel. I really appreciate you. Hit the like button. Share this on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't done that. Stay blessed. Stay positive. Never give up whatever you do. Until next time, I'll see you on the next level. Peace.